Hi, this is Peter, aka Roll for Kindness. This is devlog 4 for the Caravan Endures. Been about a week since I did my last one. Thankfully, I was not on call this weekend, so I was actually able to get quite a bit of work done, and I am ready to put out the second beta. Some real significant changes from the first one. It's cleaned up a lot. A lot of stuff is really clarified. I've removed a lot of stuff. I've expanded some areas. The whole area on building dice checks is very much streamlined. And I've added a lot of stuff to classes, just to kind of flesh them out and make them a bit more interesting, as well as adding some stuff about writing logs, coming up with maps, and doing a lot more of that kind of soft skills role-playing stuff. So that's kind of what I've been busy with. I added some new abilities for the classes just to make them a bit more interesting, a bit more useful, especially the crafter. Now there is kind of an area where the crafter can really design the carts on the caravan and add various components. There's a lot more interesting components. You can kind of turn the carts into like little rafts to ford rivers. You can have them include little like bridges to cross. All and battering rams. That's actually one I'm really excited about. So all kinds of cool little functionality about the cart stuff. Added a bit more with the scribe just to make him a little bit more interesting, and then completely removed the community stat just because it didn't really seem useful. I think there are better ways for you to really reward your players than just, arbitrarily adding dice. And I thought that was just way too arbitrary. So I got rid of the community stat, felt it really wasn't helpful. I fixed a lot of just counterintuitive or conflicting information. And then I completely removed the airship. I just felt like it had no place there. It just didn't work. That being said, it got me thinking about an expansion that I might look into later where you're doing merchant ships and it's much more like pirates and naval travel and all that fun stuff. I think the airship might be a better fit for that. But as it stands, I couldn't really find any justifications, especially since it added a bunch of new mechanics that I found were just weird. So that's about it. I really try to explain the how you create those dice pools a lot better. I've had a couple people send me some really helpful charts around calculating dice pools. So thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate that. And kind of what it comes down to is determining how to create a challenge for a number of six-sided dice to reach that is very difficult for a single player to accomplish on their own, but once the rest of the group starts pitching in, then it becomes possible. And then kind of some sections around how to amp up that difficulty will making it still accomplished or still doable, but without kind of arbitrarily doing things. But ultimately, I kind of make it clear that as this is a teamwork-oriented RPG, if effective teamwork is happening, you should succeed in whatever way. Um, will there being ways to amp up the difficulty and allow for failure? I think that sometimes failure is a good thing. Um, but ultimately, this being very much a social skills RPG, um, the point of it should be around building those skills and hitting those goals. I think there are ways to modify the rules to make things more challenging, but I think given that kind of the mission is what it is, I think as it stands, it works. Although that will really kind of come to head when we start doing playtesting. I was hoping to get some playtesting done this week, but just have not had time to set anything like that up. Um, and so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm about ready to post about it. Might actually put up a link which would be pretty terrifying. Still kind of iffy on that. If I don't, just DM me at Roll for Kindness on Twitter for a link to the new PDF. I will happily send it to you. And kind of the last thing I want to geek out about is there are now faction-specific cards. So there's a bunch of different factions, like the Merchants Guild, the Bounty Hunters Guild, the First Responders, who are like the ambulance types. There's now like an ambulance card. The Merchants Guild now has this massive cart that just holds tons and tons of crates. The Bounty Hunters Guild has a paddy wagon. So now, if you join a guild, you get a cool card, or you can earn a cool card. So I think that's kind of a cool little mechanic that could make the game a lot of fun. And that actually kind of brings me into the next conversation about how long you would want to play this game. It's something I've wondered myself. Given my experience playing a similar model, um, where there are daily activities, then an evening meeting, then random events. When I did that with my social skills groups, that lasted like an entire season of 2 hour a week games, and it was very successful. I think that this would be effective for a similar model. So 2 to 4 hours a week, 10 weeks, maybe 20 weeks, and ultimately, when you get into the traveling town sort of model, you can start splitting caravans up and doing interesting things there. But that's just kind of something I have been thinking a lot about and getting actually kind of excited about, just because the prospect of people playing this game for a long time and getting to explore it and really try things out and explore various ways of role playing and doing teamwork, I think it's just really, really exciting to me. So if I have not put out the beta, still kind of iffy on it. Might do it later this week after I've, reviewed it a few more times and, made sure that it looks good. But if it's not public, DM me for the new version. I'm happy to put it out. Um, Anyways, thank you for watching and have fun.